Hey everyone, just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the support. So great to see all of the new listeners and see that this is being adopted so fast. It's just been so much fun to start getting guests that we used to have on new to medical device sales, also now on first year in, as you guys saw last week's episode with Joe. Again, my goal each and every single week is to bring you the most value that we can and continue to help you have success in medical device sales, and not only just succeed, but continue to grow your career and continue to be the best rep manager that you can eventually be. And so just want to say thank you so much. If you can, if you like this, please share it with somebody that you think it can help as we try to grow this channel, and press like and subscribe, and a 5-star review will help us grow this as well. Really appreciate your support. Let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to First Year In. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin, and we are coming to you bright and early this morning before the sun is up because we want to make sure you guys get an episode. And I just want to first off say thank you to everyone who has sent messages. It's been amazing to see the adoption and so cool to see how many people we're helping already. And again, just want to continue to grow, help you guys be able to have success. And again, having guests on each week that are only going to help you not only go from an ASR to a full line rep, but also a full line rep to having success, maybe a field sales trainer to a regional sales manager in the future and being great at what you do. So I just want to say thank you to all the support. Again, liking and sharing this will help us grow it as well, and really appreciate if you did that. But today's episode, I really am going to keep it short and sweet for you all because it's something that always came up to me when I was trying to break into medical device sales. And I've already touched on this on a couple moments, but I really want to go into today and deep dive into why it's so important to do something every single day for your territory. And what I mean by that is I talk to people in and out of medical device sales. And the common thing is it doesn't matter when we're talking about success is just doing things over and over and being consistent. If you can do the hard things, and here's the thing, like I've talked about in medical device sales, most people just can't be consistent. Now, you've heard me also say how I took the lowest performing territory in the nation to top 10 was because I focused on what could I do today that would help me in 6, 9, 12 months. That's what today's all about, and that's what we want to continue to just drive home for you all is if you can do something today, again, if you're a brand new rep, if you're that person who just got in, you're an associate or whatever, every single time I hear is, I'm going to come in and I'm going to crush it right away. And the reality is, I hope you do. Like, I hope you come in and you don't even need to listen to any of this. You just go make it happen. But the reality of most of the time, I just talked to somebody yesterday that we got hired, is, you get in and you don't even know what product you're selling. So how can you talk about going and crushing quota when you don't know what product you're selling, what your competitors sell, what the territory's running at, what it looks like? If you got into, this is our whole conversation, if you got into a trial right now and you get asked about your competitor, can you talk to them and talk about them in a knowledgeable way, which is not going to be degrading, not putting them down, but just being like, hey, here's the difference. Here's what we do, and here's what they do. This is why other surgeons and other facilities use us. Could you talk to that? And most of you can't say yes, right? Hence why I tell you guys the first 3 to 6 months when you get in, you're just trying to be a product specialist on your stuff. Try to learn what you use, and then also be learning about the competitors. How you're going to do that is being in the accounts with your other people. And they're going to tell you why they use, being able to talk to competitive docs. Why do they use what they use? Why does the staff enjoy setting that up more than yours, right? Like just learning these things that your company is not going to teach you, that's going to make a big difference. Now, once you get in, what are you going to do today that's going to help you in 3, 6, 9, 12 months? Because this is where I made a post and I had a lot of people react to it in a positive manner for the fact of, there's a lot of people I talk to that they'll feel anxious. They're like, I'm working hard, but I'm just so anxious and I don't know what to do. And here's the reality, and this is many people in medical device sales. You can be busy, but not productive. I'm going to say that one more time. You can be busy, but not productive. You can be working a 12-hour day. You can be having something to do all the time, but it might not be productive. You could be running trays, walking through the ORs, trying to send emails, doing all the things that we have to do, but they're not productive. The reason I get this all the time with people will always be like, Jacob, how have you had success in medical device sales while also having multiple other businesses and still find time to make content, post the content, do all this stuff, right? And this is where it always comes down to is time management. As you all know in medical device sales, you have to have time management. But this is the thing I've been able to really get good at is knowing where the juice is worth the squeeze. Could I send 100 more emails? Yes. Could I do a bunch of things? Yes. But what I've been focused on is what can I do today that is actually going to result in something here in 3 to 6, 12 months, right? And even now it can be faster because, for example, like just last month, I was able in a day to be like, okay, I'm not going to work 12 hours and be going all through this stuff. It was like, okay, if I narrow down where I need to be, follow through with what I need to say and emails and all that, I can make $10,000 this week. Okay, bam, let's go do that, right? Like there's things like that you can do. And so what I would just say is, what is that? Is there, for example, maybe that's going and setting up an in-service with an account that has already used you, but guess what? They have new nurses. There's nurses that are traveling, right? Maybe by going and setting it up so for future long-term success, by doing an in-service with one of your accounts over the next 3 months, maybe that helps. Maybe that's how you start your morning and try to get that set up over the next 3 months. Getting in-services at your account so they all are refreshed. If you're a new rep, they need to know who you are. So going and setting meetings and introducing yourself. Then, if you're cold calling, who are you cold calling on? This was one thing that I had to really learn and I've gotten better as I've progressed, right? Is when I first got in, like my first day, if you guys don't know the story, is like my first day with Medtronic was they didn't have my computer to me. They didn't have my car to me. They literally had nothing today. I woke up and it was October 19th. I remember like it was yesterday. October 19th, woke up and I'm like, what do I do? I know I'm hired. I know I'm getting paid, but it's COVID, so I can't go anywhere. We're not traveling for training and I'm at my house. So I literally didn't know what to do. So all I did, because I was like, I'm not going to sit here and do nothing. I got in my beat up Acura TL that I bought for $3,000. And I was a personal trainer before all this. Got in my car, Googled OBGYN offices, because that's who I called on, and just started showing up there and saying, hey, my name's Jacob. I'm the new rep. I didn't even have business cards at this time. But I was like, I'm not going to sit here and do nothing, right? Well, over the next 3 months, I didn't even know we had a database that told you about the actual surgeons who you should go call on. So for 3 months in the job when I was trying to do this, hence why I can tell you guys everything that not to do, because I've done it and I've lived it, is I was going calling on people that I probably even shouldn't have been calling on because they weren't even doing the procedures, right, that we were doing. And so that was number one. Number two, you'll learn is if you guys know anything about CRMs and all that, it is a bunch of trash. And let me just tell you why. Are CRMs like good and used? Yes, right? But for the fact of, you know how many times I got on my CRM when I was with the bigger companies and it's like, oh, like, let me just give you a real life experience. It said this opportunity is valued at $400,000 that they did last year. 400 grand. And I was like, holy camole. I go get that one doctor. I just won. Like I will be that one doctor will be able to flip my territory by herself. Went, got the doctor. Guess what? I asked really good questions and I actually had her, she actually pulled all the cases that she did the following year. I had her pull all the following cases and she was able to show me, hey, no, this is how many cases I actually did. And I was able to see it. Let me just tell you that what was put in as the CRM as a $400,000 opportunity was really an $80,000 opportunity. Now, that's still good, but that's not $400,000. Right? I need 4 or 5 of those docs to be at the 400 grand. So the reason I'm just saying that to you, if you are a new rep, don't trust the CRMs. Don't trust. There's just somebody who had to put them in. And then also, I say this all the time. I had this talk with our CEO because we were talking about prospecting. And again, we do stuff very different at the smaller companies because it actually, like, it really does matter compared to, I remember being at the bigger companies and the bigger company was like, you just need to put it in. And like, for example, I remember they were saying, you need to show me $60,000 of forecast. And I was like, I don't have $60,000. And my manager was like, sorry, we need to see it. So what do you think I did? Because I had to, because I was told I had to. I just made, well, this hospital, maybe this doctor does this much, maybe this doctor. So my CRM said, oh, there's $60,000. It wasn't true, but I got told I had to have it in my CRM for the big corporate people to see. because we had to have this much opportunity to show. But in the reality, I didn't have that. And so that's what you just learn as you are going through this. Okay, is this CRM really accurate? Are these people? So like my CRM now with Innovis, it's very accurate. I know exactly how much money is actually there. We're not putting it in because again, like back in the day, if it was just like they're interested, it's a lead. Now it's like, unless we've done multiple meetings with them and they're like, we are trying to find budget, it is not an actual like, hey, we're not really taking it that serious, right? So there's just ways to go and handle all of this. But the reason I'm going into this detail for you guys is you need to see where it makes sense for you. You need to find where the juice is worth the squeeze. Yes, you could run 100 trays. Yes, you could do this. But here's the thing. If you're at a tray, if you're running trays to a hospital, and again, this is going to be, hey, if you have to go to 5 hospitals that day, like I just had one of our people that we just placed in Medtronic Spine, Adam, congratulations, buddy. But he's like, I'm driving 150 miles a day. Yeah, like when you have to go to a bunch, guess what? You're not going to be able to do what I'm about to say. But if you're like, hey, I only have a couple of trays I need to run today, maybe you go to that hospital, drop the tray, and go up to the OR board and see if you can see if there's a case going on that has a competitive doc that you might need, right? Can you go do something inside your account? Hey, just wanted to come in, just check, make sure you had enough supplies if they keep it on the shelf, right? Like making sure that you can provide value to every single time you're doing a contact. And so again, I don't want to go off because this is pretty simple and pretty straightforward, but to the point of you guys is when you are going in and you are running your territory and you are brand new, make sure you're doing something today. Like I said, that might be a lunch, that might be actually going and doing an in-service, that might be just setting a meeting and introducing yourself, but do something today, because I promise if you do something today that you keep thinking of long-term, because this is why everybody loses, they think short terms, is they are like, I'm going to try to get this in by next week or by the end of the month. Great. I hope it happens for you. But the reality of it is probably won't. So how about you start thinking in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, because most likely you'll probably still be there in 9 months, I hope, right? Then that will make the difference. Because again, I tell people, when I first came into Medtronic, I took the lowest performing territory in the nation. I came in halfway through the year, right? Well, I had a 6-month guarantee. So during that 6 months, I was like, I'm getting paid this, which is great. But once I come off of it, I'm not getting paid that. So I need to make sure I get my territory running to that, right? And so then that's what I did, right? Put in all the work. So then 6 months later, we came off the year, went into the new year, and then bam, was already going and crushing it as we got started and was getting paid out more, right? And that's how you handle it. So that's what I would just tell you guys. You need to find out what that is for you. If it's, just prospecting better doctors, doing something a little different. But what you need to focus on is, what can I do today that will help me in 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months, and be consistent every single day? This will be the last thing I talk about. Is most people do things once, twice, 3 times a week and then they'll call it good, or they go hard and then they're like, I see this all the time. I went really hard. Now I need to take a week off. I went really hard. Now I need to take 3 days off, right? That's okay. I'm not telling you to burn the candle on both ends and not like have no life. But what I am saying is maybe you need to pace that, right? And like I said, here's the other thing. 1 thing per day. Maybe that one thing is you set one meeting and you're done in 3 hours because you just had a long week, right? Maybe that's it. But again, just do something every single day. Maybe it's an email of setting up a meeting. But that email was very good because again, going back to, I know people who will tell me, Jacob, I sent out 100 emails. I used to do this, and I've done this before. Oh, I sent out 100 emails. Great. How many of them actually turned into meetings? Because if you sent 100 emails and you got no meetings out of it, did you even need to send the emails? Now, here's the point. Yes, you need to do touch points, but again, going back to, well, what if you did that and took that same time and actually went and focused on somebody who actually would convert? And the reason I'm saying this is everybody who's listening to this right now, you all know one account that you're like, yeah, I probably could go spend a little more time on. I know that because I've lived it. Like I would be driving and I'm like, I probably could do this, because here's the reality in medical device sales. There's always something to do. You can always be in another case. You can always be doing one other thing, but you have to be able to pace it. And this is where I just focus on, because again, I'm all about, I always used to say, let's not talk about, work smarter, not harder, right? Like I always am like, let's work smarter and harder. And then you're at a great point, but here's the reality of it. If you do that, work smarter and harder, but like you're just smart with where you go, guess what? Maybe you're smarter and harder is 3 hours. Maybe you're smarter and harder is 7 hours, not 14 hours compared to every single other person, right? This is what people don't understand is, again, If you can just be really good with time management, know where you go, where is the juice worth the squeeze, then where is it going to be, right? Same thing for me. Like I can just tell you from experience right now, living it modern day, I had done a couple touch points and then I was like, hey, I know this is probably going to work because I offered to do some free labs and I was like, all this, send out 3 emails, schedule 3 labs. Pretty dang efficient, right? And now this is not being like, oh, Jacob's amazing and all this stuff. No, it's like I could have sent a bunch of emails. I could have spent a bunch more times. But what I did instead was I was like, okay, these are local. These are where I'm going to go. I already know I can provide value. I'm going to do some touch points. Did it. Got them scheduled, right? That's the big thing. Because then from that being scheduled is, guess what? That's one thing I did today. And then if I can continue to do that tomorrow and the next day, and then I go do those meetings, guess what? The meetings will go great, right? That's my job, is to make sure they go great and then have them go great. And then, okay, what's the next steps? And they continue to grow on that. And again, it's what I tell our students in new to medical device sales about breaking in is it's just a compounding effect. A lot of times people will do this and it's in our course. So I know you guys are in the industry, so you already understand this, but I tell them all the time. A lot of times week 1 through 4, you might get a couple quick hits. You might get a couple quick interviews, but it's hey, it is what it is. Then by week 4, they're like, oh, Jacob, I'm working so hard. I need to do, I can't get it. It's just, and I'm like, trust me, just keep doing the work. And then guess what? Week 7 and 8, 6, 7, 8, they're all like, oh my gosh, I got 4 interviews because I talked to this person 3 weeks ago. And then it's no different than once you're in medical device sales. Do something every single day. And guess what? That account that you weren't thinking of just now emailed you back and is like, hey, can you give us a quote? Hey, this person just emailed you back. Hey, sorry, my emails have been busy. Can we set up that meeting? Hey, you can see where the compounding effect is. It's just doing it every single day instead of, I'm just going to go be busy. Because this is what I see in most reps, and you all know this, and you probably can attest to it, is you will see a lot of people who are like, I work a 14-hour day every day. I work a 12-hour day every day. That's great. Like, I love hard work. Go do it. But if it's not returning into anything, if you're working a 14-hour day and your territory is not moving and it's been 6 months, you're not doing something right. Because that is a telltale sign of sales. How your months are lead up to how you've been, right? If you've had a good 3 months, you probably, the prior 3 months, you probably were putting in a lot of work, right? If you have a bad 3 months, what were you doing the prior 3 months, right? That's what sales is. It's just a reflection. And we talk about this with my CEO all the time. Like, it's just going to show you what you've been doing. So that's what I would just tell you guys. I hope this provided a lot of value. If it did, send it to someone. If you can press that like and subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. A 5-star review helps us grow this channel. And until next time, keep growing your territories, keep going after your dreams, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.